All right, we're gonna work on some escapes. I am gonna do mount escapes and stuff this week. We're gonna start with side control, and then we'll get into mount, okay? I don't necessarily know why I'm gonna do it in that order, just because I think more of you spend more time pinning side control even than being pinning mount. So we'll start there and we'll work to mount as well, all right? Okay, let's see. So, no? Yeah, control my head. Good. Okay, never ever be out here with my arms. Okay, does me no good to hold him in this position. I'm never going to get at it. Okay, first thing, my elbow needs to be on his hip right here, across this belt. Okay, I don't want my hand here because he's going to drop his hip on that hand and it's not going to be good for me. It'll be the end of my wrist. Okay. Plus, it's too easy to break that down. He just has to adjust his hips, right? I just want to get it out of there because it's going to hyperextend it. Okay, so he's in here tight. Elbow inside, okay? All right, right hand here. I don't want my hand close to his neck because he's going to force that hand to my face. Okay, pin it with your head. All right, my elbow's really bad, so it looks like it hurts. It's because it does. I don't want my elbow too high up here by his ear because he can pass this off and start to set up an arm triangle if he goes to mount, okay? But I do want to use my humerus bone, not my forearm. So I'm going to use my forearm just above my elbow, and that's going to allow this bone to absorb a lot of the weight, okay? So notice I can set my arm up here. If not, I'll just keep my hands up here, okay? Next thing, knee touching his hip, all right? Why is it touching his hip? Because when I hip escape, I don't want to bring my knee and hit his hip bone or his thigh when he tries to keep his legs tight. Bring your knee. See, I don't want it to hit here. If it's hitting here, I'm never going to get at. Okay? So, okay. So, you're tight. Okay. Knee up. I'm going to focus on dropping this knee down in the pocket where above his thigh, and I'm going to connect it to that elbow that's underneath on his hip, okay? So I'm going to bridge, hip escape, okay? If I move him up, my knee and my elbow are touching. So created a frame at his waist, okay? So from here, I'm going to extend, get this leg on top, okay? Left arm is going to stay as an underhook here from his hip to the back of his tricep. And I want to focus on getting my left foot, turn. Here. So he's trying to stay tight. I want to get my left foot to the floor so that my knee's pointed straight up. Okay, keep this tight here. Now, I'm not going to pull my leg out of here because I can't. Just the physics of that are just not going to work. Okay, he's going to stay tight with his hips. So I need to create another angle. I had started on one hip, now I got to get to the other hip. So I started on my left hip, now I'm going to get to my right. So I'm going to lift, scoot, circle, and I get my full close guard. Okay. Good tight. Okay. Knee up, hip escape, drop it into the pocket, square up, keep this foot to the floor. You can see it stays tight. Lift my hips, scoot out. I'm on my right hip now. I have my closed guard. Okay. The reason I'm keeping this as an underhook, if you will, is so that when I try to start to hip escape, he doesn't push his knee down here and just step over. Okay? So, a lot of folks will forget that little piece, and when they get one leg in, that guy just keeps repassing. All right? I like to keep that underhook, that way if he tries to reach for it, I can pull on that arm. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Can you see it okay? Anybody need to see it one more time?
I'll say it one more time.
All right, do it one more time. Do it this way this time. Okay. Here, okay? Knee touching his hip, okay? Bridge, hip escape. Square up, so I'm staying under here. Foot to the floor, he stays tight. Lift my hips, scoot out. Circle and lock my legs. Okay? Good? All right, set that. 1, 2, 3. Turn. Okay. So same thing. All right. I can keep that knee tight. I'm just gonna make space a little bit, and I'm gonna tuck this, all right? I like to even keep this off if possible. If not, it's okay, right? He comes in, right? Tuck, let him, I'm gonna turn towards him, even as he tries to be real tight with this, right? Try and turn me, right? Underhook, right? From here, now I'm gonna bridge, okay? Pull my elbow in. I have that S position with my legs, okay? Hugging his hip. Left elbow comes from the frame, inside by my ribs, right? He's trying to stay tight. Go here, switch my legs and come up. Here, I can come up around the hip or around the leg. Either of those would work, okay? From here, knee tap him and come back down, all right? So here, okay? Keep that knee up, bridge, tuck, okay? Circle, right? Now I hip escape again. Pull the elbow in, right? Tries to stay tight, right here. Even if he tries to, you know, sprawl out a little bit heavy on me, right? Hip escape, get my elbow under, switch, okay? I can also, like I said, block that hand early, focus on getting my arm tucked in. Does that make sense? So I'll show it with the block early. Back up a little bit. So he comes in, I block that arm early, right? I bridge, tuck my right arm into my chest. So that arm can be tucked here. I want him to lay on that shoulder. And then from here, I circle for my underhook. My elbow comes in. I have my legs in an S. I can hip escape to get there. Switch the bottom leg under the top and come up. So he's coming in hot to pass, right? I block, right? Bridge, tuck, put pressure on me, all right? Circle, elbow comes in. I can hip escape if I want, or if I have my legs in that S position, okay? Notice I have a kickstand, he's trying to flatten me out, okay? So from here, switch my legs, here, come on.
So are you blocking his knee with your hand on the?
Just pull my elbow to my ribs. I'm just trying to get him to lay on this side. Does that make sense? Sorry. Just tuck on that arm, okay? I can block so he's not getting my head right away, or I could be at the hip like the other hip escape that we did before, right? Block at the hip, hip escape, tuck that arm, circle my underhook. If I need to hip escape again, that's okay too. Make that S with my legs and come up, okay? I will never get up if I have the underhook and my elbow away from my ribs. I can't do it, okay? If I'm elbow away and he's laying on me and I try to turn, I'm gonna be stuck right here. You're just gonna flatten me out, okay?
Dave, if he's super tight and you try to swim that hand, do you try to frame to swim the hand first?
Yes, so for example, say he starts tight here, right? I bridge, tuck. Here, I swam it, okay? Now, just so I can show you, if I keep my elbow away from my body, okay, everybody see that? When I try to come up, I'm gonna get stuck. I'll switch my legs, and he just drops his hips on me, okay? I can't get out that way, okay? So he's the same position. I pull my elbow to my ribs. Go ahead. Here. Okay? I need something to allow my body to come up. I want to make sure that when I do this, framing, I want to tuck to my body and turn my shoulder in so he's laying on my arm. If I'm just laying here and just reaching my hand around the side of his ribs, I'm not going to go anywhere. I need to get that arm all the way across his waist. Okay? So when I switch to that, I tuck and I get on my side. Notice I have my kickstand close to my butt. I made the S with my legs. I'm working on my right elbow coming in. and I'm turning and facing him. Okay? Even if he's trying to get to my face, it's okay. Now, big circle, wrap around the waist. Okay? Take and switch my legs and come up. Does it make sense? All right, let's try that out. 1, 2, 3.